Okay, so this is video one of the video series, 150 Weird Ways to Make Money, or 150 Ways to Make Your Own Money. As we discussed in the intro, just to give you a little background, I hear a lot of my friends and stuff complaining that they can never get ahead with their current job. They don't make enough money. So you got two choices: either go get another better paying job, which again you're still working for someone else, or you could find a way to make your own money, supplement your income, and heck, maybe if you're good at what you're doing, maybe you could potentially even turn it into your sole source of income and not have to work for somebody else. Also to people who are unemployed or whatever, get out there and do something on your own, make your own money. So the first way here is going to be making and selling cornhole games, also known as beanbag toss games. I'm sure you've seen people playing this game at backyard barbecues, tailgating on college campuses. Basically consists of two boards with a hole in it. Basically you have two teams, two people on each team. You stand at opposing sides of these boards, and basically you get a bag on the board. That's 1 point. You get a bag in the hole. It's 3 points. You generally play to 21. A lot of fun for barbecues, summer activities at the beach. Huge on college campuses. Tailgating. It's a good way to pass time while you're out there drinking some beers. It's a very fun game. I will say that this game was kind of at its height a few years ago. It's not as profitable as it used to be. A lot of larger companies started making cheap chintzy games that were affordable, whereas in the past the only way you could get these games was if you saw someone who had them out on their lawn, and you generally had to pay I'd say 75 to maybe even a couple $100 depending on the quality of wood they used and things like that. But money can still be made on this. Very low startup cost. Assuming you have a few basic tools laying around your home. I actually basically started a business doing this for, I want to say, less than $40, maybe even been less than $20. But just give you a little bit of background on how I started this. Basically, was in a college entrepreneurship class. Had a project to create a business. I think we had $20 or $40 to start with, and basically whoever turned the biggest profit won. I basically wound up winning this contest. I actually had a couple slacker kids in my class who either didn't do anything or had failed ideas. I think they wound up paying me at the end of the course to let them on as my partners so that they wouldn't fail the class. But very cool concept for a class. I think, basically the teachers, you got $20, get out there and hustle and make some money. So I thought that was a really cool concept for a class. But getting back to the actual business, very simple, very low startup cost. I think I bought some scrap wood from Home Depot. I think I also maybe went and pillaged a few construction sites to get some supplies. But basically, if you're familiar with the concept of the cornhole games, you probably know what a game looks like. You can use your own take on how you want to make the games. I've made foldable games. I've made just some very simple games that don't take much wood and don't take much putting together. I've also made some other really nice quality games. Done some painting logos and things on them, varnishing them. I've done some really high quality games, some games with some nice walnut wood and things like that. So it's up to you whether you want to make cheaper games for and try to sell more of them, or make high quality games and try to make more on each game. But yeah, basically I got some scrap, some of the cheap scrap wood from Home Depot. Got plans. I already had a game. I think I just kind of took the measurements from my current game. Cut out the pieces, assembled. I was able to assemble a game or two with the first bit of wood that I had. Painted it, varnished it. I was just kind of making simple games, just white boards, and then I would basically get a stencil that was a circle, put it over the hole, spray paint, and basically have a bullseye around the hole. But all in all, I want to say, depending on whether I was able to get good scrap wood or not, I could probably put a game together for, I want to say, under $15. Even if I was using, better wood and hinges and things like that, I could probably still put a game together for under $25. I was selling these games for, at the very minimum, $75. I think upwards to $180 or $200 if I had designs and things painted on them. Like I said, I came up with a few different designs. I had one basically just solid board design. They're not as portable, but they are definitely sturdier. It's kind of a game you'd probably keep at home, not really travel with, although I have transported them. I've also made some other games with 1x4s and foldable legs, to where basically you could throw two games in your trunk or in some storage area, and it's essentially only taking up about 6 inches of space. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty easy materials. I couldn't get into the designs and things like that, but I'm sure if you guys are handy enough to make these games, you can probably figure out the designs for yourself. There's also some designs online and things like that. Very little in startup costs. I mean, a circular saw. You need a circular saw, a drill. You need a 6-inch, hole drill bit. They're generally orange. They got a drill bit in the middle with basically a circle saw around it, 6-inch diameter. Let's see. So you need that. I think you probably pick one of those up for under $10. Let's see. What other supplies do you need? I mean, screws, Gorilla Glue. I always found helpful just to help keep things together until I started putting the screws in. If you want to get fancy, you can get those screw sinkers so that you can sink the screws in, put some wood putty over it, and have it like a really professional finished looking game. Aside from that, just paint and some varnish. Pretty easy to get the boards put together. As for the bags, obviously, ideally you want to use a duck cloth. Anything else will start to break apart, but a heavy duty canvas or even a hemp or something like that will work. I actually was fabric gets relatively expensive if you go to the fabric store. I try to find sales and buy scraps and remnants and things like that. If you got like old clothes and things like that laying around, like some old painter's pants, blue jeans, basically any sturdy material can be substituted for duck cloth. I had a bunch of old clothes and stuff like that. I think I even went to some of the Goodwill stores and stuff and picked up like old jeans for $1 or 50 cents. Same thing with garage sales, and used blue jean material just because it was cheaper than duck cloth. I could probably get, I want to say, at least 4 or 5 bags out of a decent sized pair of blue jeans. Obviously, you got to teach yourself how to sew. You can pick up a cheap sewing machine for probably under $100 at Walmart. Just make sure you double or triple stitch it if you're not using like a heavy duty thread or fishing line. But it's pretty easy. I mean, if you've ever taken I think most people are forced to take like a beginner's home ec class. I remember we made pillows back in 6th or 7th grade. If you can make a little 6 by 6 inch pillow, you can make a beanbag. Basically just sew a square, leave a little bit unfinished at the end, pull it inside out, and then fill it with, here's a secret, a lot of people fill it with beans and all types of weird stuff. You want to go to a store like Farm and Fleet and get whole, not crushed, but whole corn, like animal feed corn. Fill the bags with those, finish stitching them up, and you got some bags. In addition to selling the boards, you can make a pretty good profit selling the bags. As people leave these bags outside or even in the garage, because of the corn, squirrels and other animals love getting into them, and they'll eat these bags apart. So I think a lot of people's bags get eaten. A lot of people play on like asphalt and things like that, and their bags bust open. People lose bags transporting them, to the beach, to a friend's house. I mean, let's think about it. It's a drinking game, so obviously people, you're out playing in the dark. Everyone's throwing the bags around. Bags get lost, things like that. So people are always buying replacement bags. So you can make good money on the boards. You can also make money selling the bags. I think I used to sell bags for about $30 a pop for 8 bags. I'd put ads in the newspaper. The nice thing, as long as your ad was $30 or less in most local classifieds, it's a free ad. So I can get a free ad for the bags. That way I'm selling bags. I got a free advertising, and occasionally people would call me and ask me, oh, do you sell the boards also? And I'd get sales of boards out of it too. So there was a great way for free advertising to sell both bags, boards, and sets. Let's see, eBay, I did a good amount of business on eBay. And another thing, I imagine you want cash in your pocket. Like I said, I was making these games for anywhere from $15 to $25, depending on materials. I'd sell them from anywhere from $75, $80, I would say it was typical. Sometimes I'd get $100. If I did designs and things, I'd get $150, sometimes up to $200. Another thing I did that I guess isn't necessarily cash money, but was still kind of cool. Craigslist has a barter section where you can trade items with people. Basically I would trade, some guy's got a company that season tickets. It really doesn't mean much to him because he didn't pay for them. He can't go to a game or whatever. He wants a set of beanbags. Some guys would trade me, 4 Cubs tickets, 4 White Sox tickets, great seats for a thing of bags that cost me $15 to make. So I'm getting a couple $100 worth of tickets here. They're getting a beanbag game. It doesn't cost them anything, doesn't cost me anything. So I went to a lot of cool games and concerts and things like that doing this. The other thing, if I get concert tickets from someone, concert tickets are a lot easier to sell than beanbags. So that's another way to make some money. Trade the games for something else that's worth more and easier to turn around and make your money that way. Coming up on time, but this has gotten tougher. Back when I first started doing this, the only way you could buy these games was if you knew someone who made them, like they weren't really mass made. Now you can go to Walgreens or Jewel or Walmart or whatever and buy like shitty like balsa wood games or plastic games. Definitely not as good quality, but you can get them. So that kind of hurt this business, but there's number one way to make money.